The female narcissist is easy to beat unless she's the mother of your kids. And this is where everything changes, because now she has the one weapon that no one else has, and that's your kids. Now, I want you to think about this because every manipulative weapon that could work against you in family court has way more leverage if she can involve the kids in this. Guilt, shame, lies, social games, gaslighting, all of those things get supercharged. You get more disenfranchised when she uses the kids to attack you. So she doesn't just twist your words, she starts twisting your paternal instincts. Your greatest strengths as a father start to be used against you. The more you try and protect your kids, fight for them, do what's right by all social standards, the more that gets used against you to be seen as violence. You get restraining orders placed against you, protective orders placed against you. She says she's unsafe. She convinces the kids of that. This not only hurts you worse, but legally it destroys you. She knows you can't just walk away. And so she usually just pulls you into fight after fight that drains you financially, makes you lose legally. And moment by moment, you start thinking that you're the one that's crazy when you're the one that's sane here, or you're being made crazy by somebody who's just nuts. This puts you to the point of frustration, depression, anger, to where you might really explode. Lawyers, family, friends, judges all start thinking that you are the monster when truly, truly, she is the monster. And yet somehow she's convinced everybody that she's the real victim in this, and she is doing what's best for the children. So look, obviously this is a trap, and you can't out crazy. And I'm going to tell you this right now, you're not going to win by out yelling her or out proving her in the ways that she's trying to prove that you're dangerous. Every time you try this, you're going to play right into her hands. She's better at this game than you. You were blindsided by it. You never knew you had to play this game. And if you continue on playing, you're going to lose in the eyes of the system. And perhaps you're already there. And see, when you lose there because you don't know how to play this right, it's not just you that loses, it's your kids that lose in the long run. Now, I get it, you didn't know these were mistakes, you didn't realize this type of person existed within her, but now you know their mistakes, and if you keep making these mistakes, your kids are gonna have to pay for the price of those mistakes. So how do we win? You stop playing her game and you start playing a very disciplined legal game. The court only respects evidence, procedure, and consistency. That means, number one, you're gonna start staying calm and learn how to document everything in the right way. Every lie, every manipulation. Write it down, back it up. This is a real life situation that came from our calls that I think you might be able to relate with. Mom is not letting dad see the child. Dad requests to see the child. She then blames dad, saying that dad had his chance to do things right, but he screwed up and he doesn't really care. And so because he doesn't care, he doesn't get to see the child. Dad argues those points and gets caught in a web and starts producing evidence that could hurt him because she's alienating him from the kids. What we have to start learning in these situations is, how do we document this right? How do we gather the evidence right? How do we communicate right? So in a situation like this, we need to request to see the child. When the mom blames us for everything, finally caring about being a dad, you weren't there for these things, she doesn't want to see you, or he doesn't want to see you, or whatever the excuses are, we then can offer a solution to that. So calmly, and hopefully using ChatGPT to be able to construct our responses, we can say something like, well, how about we meet in public, or how about we get a third party to supervise visitation? In my state and county, usually we get expanded standard or 50-50, but let's start here. You offer a solution, she's probably going to deny it again. Okay, I want to pause right here. This is Editor Steve, and I just want to make clear that this situation you may not be in, and you might be past this, so it may not work for you. But what's important here is we're looking at a pattern of communication with her that works to create evidence for the courts that is going to build a narrative of her being a bad parent. So right now she's being a bad parent, but oftentimes with narcissistic abuse, she tricks you into acting angry or pissed off or something that triggers the court's attention before it can see her problems. And we want to point out a pattern to those problems. And what I'm 100% certain about in your case, even though I don't know your details, is there's a pattern that she's creating that will not look good in court. So you need to calm down, find out what that pattern is. This is why we need to learn the language of the courts, the process of the courts, and our judges. And we need to show that pattern. When you show that to somebody who has NPD or BPD or some sort of toxic form personality disorder, they're going to start to look really bad in court. They're going to start to blow up. And this is basically the game plan of how many guys win in my groups. All right, let's get into why this is important. Now, why this is important is because in a court case, that sort of evidence can articulate much more that, one, You wanted to do what was kind of standard in your state and county, see your child. When she showed resistance, rather than arguing her points, you give the court's normal solution, which is like, okay, let's try something reasonable, easy, what most courts would say is a good thing, and I'm going to suggest that, and then you're going to shoot that down. If you have 3, 4, 5, 20 of those, it's going to have a much more compelling argument that she is causing parental interference. But if we also have text messages where we're arguing back and getting pissed off and so on, we're not properly documenting the right things. We are falling into her trap that's always going to win. I understand that in your case, there's probably unique situations like that, but definitely check out my 30 and 30. It has a lot of this stuff mapped out for you so that you can win in your custody case. It's free. Second thing is don't fight socially, fight legally. She's going to gossip online. She's going to talk to parents. She's going to probably turn your family against you, or at least attempt to. Facebook is not your battleground. Instagram is not your battleground. Your social circle is not your battleground. Your battleground is the courtroom. This means interrogatories, depositions. This means evidence, how you file things, sworn affidavits. These are the ways that you're going to argue it. Now, that sucks when your friends and family might be turned against you, but this is why you need a support system and a group. Seriously, it is going to save your mind in this. Don't do this alone. Do this with other people that have a strategy to help you and can prevent you from making mistakes like trying to beat her at the social game. Third thing is get into a men's group. You need a support system of men who have been through this and who've gotten out to the other side. You need men who aren't just telling you that you're born to fail in this and you have to give up. You need men who understand the psychological hardships of this, the legal hardships of this. How to navigate you through, is your lawyer doing a bad job? Do you need to find another one? How do you go pro se? How do you have an attorney pick up your case halfway? How do you save money in this? When anybody is happy, mad, sad, hurt, ashamed, afraid, they're not thinking straight. In a custody battle, all of those things and all of those emotions are going to exploit you just as much as she is. This is a different war. It's not the same as going to battle. It's not the same as winning whatever championship you've done or other achievements in your life. This is very, very hard. Get a support system of guys who know it. Be humble. Don't be the smartest guy in the room. Be the dumbest guy in the room. Not because you're dumb, but because you're smart and you're planning on winning this. In short, if you focus on her chaos that she makes always in your life, you will lose. But if you focus on the legal map and you learn how to speak its language, you have your best chance of winning. Listen, the female narcissist is absolutely predictable. The hardest part is it involves you and your kids. You're compromised mentally. Your greatest weapon is your fatherhood, and that's the one thing you can't abandon, and that's the main weapon she's using against you. Don't go to war with her crazy. Get strategic, get legal. If you're not on my 30 and 30, get on it. There's also another free product that may or may not be released right now on defeating a female narcissist in a custody battle specifically. Check the links down below. And if you haven't checked this out on my YouTube, it's a quick guide on defeating a female narcissist in a custody battle. All right, dads, stay strong, stay alive, because your dad and your kids need you.